What's the deal with all the Photoshop versions out there? The short answer that you're looking for is this. The best Photoshop version is the latest one, and this requires a paid subscription from adobe.com. The best choice is the photography plan, which starts at $10 per month, depending on your location, give or take. Now please, don't buy the individual plan. It's not worth the extra cloud storage. That's the only difference. You're not missing out on anything. The first 7 days are completely free. Go to adobe.com, create a free account, and download the trial. And that's basically it for the basics. That's all that you absolutely need to know. Now, if you want to learn more, stick around. Is Photoshop Elements good enough for this course? No, it's not. Photoshop Elements is a completely different program, and it's not good for this course. Now, what about using an iPad for the computer? Again, no, that's a completely different experience. How about Photoshop CS3, CS4, or CS5? Well, while they can work, I wouldn't recommend it. It's like working on Windows 98 while having a ton of better options out there. For example, CS4 was launched way back in 2008. So, using extremely outdated software is never a good idea. Again, you could work along, but it wouldn't be a great experience. It's like parking a big car in a tight space without sensors or cameras. Sure, you could manage, but it's not ideal, you know? CS6 is the oldest version you should be using for the course, and that was launched way back in 2012, so even that's very outdated. And you're gonna miss out on some nice improvements and features. But again, having said that, if you're very patient, you could use Photoshop CS6. I just don't recommend it. In conclusion, you should expect various things that are not going to be available if you're on an older version. But let me make this clear. Most of the differences between these versions are mostly visual. They don't stop you from working. There are 2, 3, 4 different behaviors, but I'm gonna create several lectures for those, so you're not gonna have a whole lot of trouble with it. So overall, you shouldn't be too worried about using a slightly older version of Photoshop, as long as it's not something that's completely outdated from 2008 or something like that. And again, as I said, the ideal situation is you have a Creative Cloud subscription. Let me explain how this works. So back in the day, Adobe launched programs like Photoshop CS4, Photoshop CS5, CS6, and so on, and they had a fixed price. For example, Photoshop CS6, the most popular one, retailed for $6.99. So you paid $700 for a single program, and that was a huge amount of money, and not a lot of people could afford that. But in 2013, Adobe completely changed their pricing by launching the Creative Cloud, or in short, CC. This meant that the user would pay a monthly subscription and would receive all the updates and bug fixes for free. And that's where we're currently at. So basically right now, if an update comes along, I'm gonna get a notice in my Adobe Creative Cloud program. This is how it currently looks, but it changes all the time, so if yours looks different, no worries about it. But I'm gonna click one button here, and the new version is gonna get installed. And this applies for everybody that has a legal version of Photoshop, a paid one. So if you have a subscription, you probably have the latest version. Nobody is stuck on CC 2014 or 2017 because the update is free and it's easy to do. You just click a button. One final thing, the course is version independent, so over 90% of what I teach you applies to all Photoshop versions. So if you have a slightly older one, please don't use it as an excuse to not watch and learn from this course. The changes between CC editions are minimal. The interface is slightly different, undo and shift work a bit differently, but honestly, not a lot has changed. So if your interface doesn't completely match mine, no worries about it. Just ask for help and I'm gonna be there. And like I said in the beginning, if you don't want to invest any money into Photoshop, create a free account on adobe.com and you're gonna get a week totally for free. And in that week, you can finish the entire course. Okay, let's sum this up. You could use Photoshop CS6, but you're gonna miss out on some nice improvements and various features. What I recommend is you go to adobe.com, you pay for the subscription, $10 per month, the photography plan, and that's gonna be that. Okay, let's get started.